The year is 1000 AD. Much of the world is in turmoil. There are famines, wars, and endless migrations of people. Kingdoms rise and fall. But in one hidden valley surrounded by rivers and mountains, something extraordinary happens. Here, in this hidden paradise, a civilization is born, not of kings and warriors, but of children. Let me tell you this story. Once upon a time, in an age long past, a great sickness swept through the valley, taking with it nearly every adult. The children, left orphaned and afraid, wept through the long nights. But as moons passed, hunger forced them to act. The older ones taught the younger to gather roots, to trap rabbits, and to weave shelters from reeds. They began to organize. The brave guarded the valley with slings and sharpened sticks. The wise kept the stories, scratching marks into bark and clay. The builders learned to shape mud into bricks and raised houses high upon wooden stilts. The healers discovered herbs not from scrolls, but from trial, error, and the whispers of the forest. What started as survival soon became society. They made rules so everyone would be safe. They made leaders to help everyone work together. And slowly, as seasons turned into years, the children grew up, and the memory of the sickness faded. But they never forgot what it was like to be afraid. So they created rituals to remind themselves to always be kind, to always share, and to always remember. Each time a new child reached the age of 12 summers, he or she had to cross the River of Courage, the widest and fastest river in the valley, to be welcomed as a full member of the tribe. To do this, they had to jump from rock to rock, carefully picking their way across. If they fell, they would have to start over. No one helped them, but everyone cheered them on. Those who succeeded were marked with special tattoos, a sun on their chest and a moon on their back. And when they came out of the river, the other children sang songs to welcome them as equals. They painted their faces with ash and berries to mark the seasons, the colors of courage, the strength of earth, the brightness of summer, the wisdom of winter. They carved symbols into stone, not of gods or kings, but of suns and moons, and most importantly, the hands of children holding each other. These became their only law, to always remember that life was hard, that everyone could be brave, and that no one should ever be too small to help each other. This went on for many, many years. The children grew up, had their own children, and passed on the stories of the sickness and the courage it took to rebuild their world. Some children became great inventors. They designed water wheels to grind grain and tools to plant crops. They built boats from reeds to fish in the river and houses with high walls to keep out the cold wind. Others became great artists, painting pictures on cave walls of animals and plants and the starry sky. They told stories around bonfires, stories of bravery and kindness that made everyone want to be a better person. And then one day, many years later, when the valley was full of happy children and the memory of the sickness was almost forgotten, some outsiders stumbled upon their home. The warriors who followed the river to raid the valley were stunned. They expected to see a group of frightened, unorganized children, but instead they found a strong, harmonious society. The traders who came to exchange goods for food were astonished. They expected to find ragged, desperate beggars, but instead they met clever inventors who had designed water wheels to grind grain. The priests who came to teach the children religion were shocked. They expected to find heathens without a single prayer, but instead they saw children who lived by one law. No one is forgotten. The outsiders wanted to take the children away from their homes and force them to work in mines or fields or factories. But when they tried to do this, the children stood up to them, not with weapons, but with their minds. They reminded the outsiders of all the people who had died in the sickness, how it had taken their parents and left them alone. They showed them how they had organized to survive and how they had created a new way of life based on cooperation and kindness. And in the end, the outsiders understood that sometimes strength does not come with age and wisdom can begin in the smallest hands. So the story goes. Some say that the descendants of these children still live in the mountains, keeping their traditions alive and passing down the stories of their ancestors. Others believe that the memory of this civilization lives on in the idea that strength does not always come with age, and wisdom can begin in the smallest hands. The civilization of children may be gone, but their story reminds us that even in the darkest times, hope can survive, and in the smallest hearts, courage can grow. Thank you for watching this video. I'm your storyteller. Subscribe for more folktales from around the world.